So hi, everyone. We are Reclaim. Reclaim is a web app and a Chrome extension that allows you to see where you spend time in your browser. We are really excited to show this to you. Next slide, please. My name is Manav. I am the PM on this project. Joining me in this journey, we have our fabulous designer, Sakin, and our fantastic developer, Dhruval. We worked really hard in the past 5 weeks to make this happen. So we're going to show you both our end results in terms of the working product that we have, as well as the journey of how we got here. Next slide, please. So starting off with the problem, I'm sure we all know just how strange of a year 2020 has been. We're sheltering in place. Many of us are working and studying from home, and our computer usage has only skyrocketed. When we depend on technology for everything, from socializing, working, even entertainment, it can be really easy to develop unhealthy habits. So to make sure this wasn't just happening to me, we decided to also do some user interviews and get a sense of what's happening amongst our friends and our connections. Next slide, please. So in each of our user interviews, we opened with this question: what does your current experience with technology look like? And I ask that you reflect on this question a little bit as well. Has your relationship been overwhelmingly positive? Has it been negative? Has it been mixed, maybe? Next slide. So from our responses, we saw some themes. A lot of people use the word toxic when describing their experience with technology, but people would also say, you know what, it's I can't live without it. It helps me be very productive. I'm practically married to my devices. So lots of really good insights that we had. In combination with a survey we did that got over 35 responses, we also got a chance to better understand different user pain points that are happening. Next slide. So there's a few that we were seeing. One of them is that people struggle to make time for their offline hobbies. So that can include reading, cooking, spending time with friends. It can also include feeling really drained at the end of a day if you're working or studying and you're in front of a screen all day. In addition to feeling easily distracted and having a hard time controlling how much time they spend on certain sites, as well as this overwhelming feeling that sometimes technology makes them feel worse about themselves and the world around them. Next slide, please. We also know technology, when used in excess, can have an effect on our health. So physically, if we're sitting in front of a computer screen all day, it can lead to eye strain. If we're not going outside and exercising, it can affect our cardiovascular health. If we have bad posture, it can affect our neck, shoulders, back, even fatigued just from physically staying in one place. From a mental health aspect, we know that technology doesn't always make us feel the best. So we can, at times it can make us feel anxious, easily distracted, super stressed out, and even just straight up depressed. So there's lots of problems in the space, but our team really wanted to hone in on, try to focus what our scope is. Next slide. Oh, and then back. I don't know why it does this. Two back. Here we go. Thanks. So we really asked ourselves, how might we help people to develop a healthier relationship with their computers? This is our very aspirational goal. We looked at this from 2 ways. The first being, how can we encourage people to spend less time on their computer? So instead, they're going outside, seeing people, cooking. And the other thing we're looking at is, how can we encourage people to interact more meaningfully with their computers or with the sites and tools that they're using? So, and yeah, you can go to the next one. For myself, in this journey over the past 5 weeks, a big thing I had to learn was prioritization. There's this fun comic that actually Helen shared, so props to Helen for this. It's basically just the aspect of you want to build so many features and you can't. So the big thing is okay, how do we separate our features from absolutely necessary? Also, what are our secondary features? And then what are features that that are kind of in an other or they can wait category? And then a big thing for me as well, I thought 5 weeks was like a lot of time. Like I thought we could build a rocket ship to the moon and back. And now I realize that wow, that's actually not a lot of time. And even having a working product that we can show people is something to be really proud of. So that's all from me today. I will be passing it on to Sakin, who will be showcasing our designs.
Thank you, Manav. Hi, everyone. My name is Sakin. I was the UX UI designer on our team. And to find a solution to our problem statement, I went through the following UX UI process to get to our final product. So first of all, to learn more about the pain points of our users, I organized our initial findings from our user interviews and survey into patterns and themes, utilizing an infinity diagram to visualize it all. From here, I was able to build personas so that we could understand our target user better cohesively as a team. I created this representation of our user through a persona, identifying their motivations and frustrations. So our primary persona is Cheryl. Her main motivations are to improve her focus in school, be more active, and spend more quality time with her friends and family. Her frustrations include spending way too much time on social media, lack of concentration, and also not knowing exactly how much time she's spending in front of her computer on a daily basis. Here we have Cheryl's journey map, a visualization to identify feature prioritization. And from here, we have, through the journey map, the key opportunities I identified were setting up and showing analytics to break down the time spent on different websites and apps, as well as breaking that down further into categories such as social or news or education. Other opportunities also included getting notifications for breaks and a comparison view of past week's browser activity. So finally, it was time to design, and I focused on implementing features that we identified would be solutions to the goals of our primary persona. These are a few of the screens of our mid-fidelity wireframes. They include a landing page, a Chrome extension, a dashboard that would show Cheryl her browser usage, insight, setting a web limit, as well as notifications. Having made our design, it was time to put it to the test. And through usability testing, it's an important part of the design process. And here I've highlighted a couple of issues identified by our users. One of them is they didn't really understand the function of a snooze CTA here, and a clear descriptive text that did not leave the user guessing like what is required would work. Similarly, an icon on adding a website to setting a web limit wasn't very self-explanatory and needed a clear label. So that was necessary. Given more time, we would have added additional features such as a usage bar graph to our insights page, as well as the ability of users to completely block distracting websites. Many of our users that we interviewed also mentioned having issues taking a break from being in front of the computer all day. So a feature to schedule your break would have addressed that. And then to bring the mid-files to life, I utilized the mood board and style tile to build on the visual language of our landing page, our Chrome extension, and dashboard. The mood here is playful, but also professional and trustworthy, and the colors are fresh, bright, but balanced with cooler tones. I wanted to be intentional with our use of color, ensuring that we didn't really distract from the functionality of our core product. So next I'm going to walk you through a short demo of our high fidelity wireframes. So when Cheryl lands on our homepage here, the first thing that her eye would catch and be drawn to is the bold letters there and the text explaining, so she can get a sense of what the functionality of Reclaim is. The images on this page are also fun and playful, and there's a bit of a fluid movement in the background shape, so her eye is drawn downwards to discover more about the product. Here I've just highlighted a few features of Reclaim, the analytics, the time tracking, that is a time tracking tool, and that you can set limits on distracting websites. There are also several different ways that Cheryl can start using the product. She can immediately try it now and create an account. Once she's created her account, enter her email, password, she'll land on our dashboard where she can add the Chrome extension. Once she's added the Chrome extension and some time has lapsed, she'll be able to see the exact amount of time that she spent on Chrome that day, and then her top categories. If she visits the dashboard, there she can see her activity log and the amount of time she spent on those websites and the percentage of her overall time. She can also set a web limit. So for example, Facebook, and then the time that she's allocating, and add that website. And then as soon as she's reached her limit, she'll get a notification where either she'll leave Facebook or add an additional 30 minutes and she'll be prompted again. So my key takeaway from the reflecting back was I learned really it's important to pivot through different ideas if things don't go as planned, and also just to keep an open mind and iterate through. Now I'm going to pass over to Dhruval, our amazing developer.
Oh, we
So we can't hear you. You're either on mute or your audio is there. You go.
Got it. Yeah, it's this thing. I apologize. I had it up so I don't say anything. Apologies. All right, I'm gonna start over. Thank you, Sakin, for taking us through the Hi-Fi mockups. I'm Dhruval. I'm just gonna talk you through most of the demo, but I'm just gonna talk about like what we did, how we built this thing. So there are three main components to our app. It's a Chrome extension, which sends tab information to a database, which in real time sends all of the updated tab information to the web app. So you are getting a live feed pretty much on how often your website updates. The tech stack that I used was I'm a ClojureScript developer, so I think we need to go to the next slide. I apologize. Thank you. I'm a ClojureScript developer. So the Chrome extension and the front end are built with ClojureScript. Hasura is a GraphQL wrapper around Postgres, which is a database. So I mainly chose Hasura because it sped up a lot of the backend work, and the endpoints are pretty much created as long as you create your table schema. Reframe is a Redux-like component to Clojure, and if you're familiar with Redux from the JavaScript world, it's very similar to that. So now I'm going to jump into the demo. I'm just going to share my screen. All right. I'm just going to look for a quick thumbs up if folks can see my screen. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me just talk you through what we have here. So today I created all of this by going on these websites. So on the right side, you see that we have a Reclaim Chrome extension, and this is sending tab data to our database. So these are all the websites that I created. What I also did was I actually changed some of the data so that even though I created these today, I apologize, it's a bit small, but I moved some of the websites to November 15th, November 25th, and November 27th, just to show you that if I change the date range here from 12th to the 16th, then you should see the website that was used or the tab that was created on the 15th. The only reason this says updated today is because I updated today and then I fudged the data. There are a couple more websites between the 23rd and 26th. You should see one, which was the 25th one. And then now I'm going to do 24th to 28th, and you should see two websites. What I am going to do now is just go back to today and show you how the live updates work. So this is a cool feature where if you keep an eye on, let's just go to clojure.org. It's this one here. So I'm going to go to clojure.org for just a sec and just keep an eye on this time after I switch the tab. So now I spent 6 seconds on there. The percentage will update too. There is an edge case is like, well, what if I spend a long time on here and I don't switch? Well, we're not going to do it right now, but every 60 seconds, the Chrome extension will send information to the database. And that means that this information will be up to date as of the nearest minute. So Chrome Clojure was active for a while, so I'm going to switch tab again, and you're going to see 49 seconds. So I spent a lot more time on it now. Next thing I'm going to show you is the web limit feature. So the way we do it, if you spend too much time on YouTube, all you do is just put youtube.com. Let's say I'm going to do 1 hour and 30 minutes here, and I'm going to add this limit. What I'm going to show you is that in the website section, if you look at where'd YouTube go? Oh, it's in the next row, sorry. If you see youtube.com here, then you have a daily limit here. This is 5.4 million milliseconds. We track everything in milliseconds. We have really good precision on the time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the tab that was YouTube and change the amount of time I've spent on it today. So the ID will be like, it'll end with D943. I'm going to go to the tab, and what I'm looking for is the website ID that ends with D943. And I'm going to go to the active duration here and change it. So just give me a sec. So 5.4 million, anything more than that, I'm just going to do 6 and then add a few zeros. And as soon as I save it, what's going to happen is my limit has exceeded, and you'll get a notification. We're also going to be doing notifications in the Chrome extension, but I'm not doing that right now. If I go back to its original time and save it, boom, we have not exceeded the limit. That's the demo. I'm just going to show you that if I update it here, just really quickly, let's just do 6,400 here. We'll save it. And then, whoa, I spent a lot of time on YouTube. That's not good. 98% of my time all day. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. The learnings that that we gathered from this, especially myself as a developer, time is a pretty intense concept, especially tracking time on tabs. There are a lot of edge cases that come with tabs, and Manav and Sakin really helped me narrow down a lot of them. It's very difficult because users can do anything to their tabs. They can move them to a different window. They can switch up websites. You can, close tabs, open tabs, and just do a lot of funky stuff, which they helped me identify and really push me to cover almost all the edge cases. So we do have multi-window support. We do have a bunch of stuff that, if you think of it, there's a good chance we've thought of it, but I'm very happy to answer questions offline some other way. You can find me and reach out to me. So yeah, thank you again to Manav and Sakin. It was a pleasure working with both y'all.